A new transmission line could soon stretch through 4 counties and parts of southern Kansas. This does include Sedgwick County.
Sophia Jernander was at Evergy's hearing for that project tonight as landowners questioned the company about the plan.
With us, we can talk specifics.
No, I'm talking on a public forum right now.
Tensions were high in Winfield on Thursday as Evergy and the Kansas Corporation Commission took questions about a proposed transmission line across southern Kansas.
Is Kelly County going to see a dime of property taxes to these lines when it's run?
The transmission line will run 133 miles from Sedgwick County to Chautauqua County. It's designed to make sure Kansans have reliable energy in emergency weather conditions.
The line was originally planned and engineered by the Southwest Power Pool to address winter weather reliability issues during extreme winter weather storms.
The hearing saw 123 people in attendance, many voicing concerns about the effects of this construction on their day-to-day life and how their land will be damaged.
You are projecting possible multiple years of disturbing this land. What kind of compensation will these farmers and ranchers see?
We have to agree to get it to as good of condition or better than it was before.
After the public comment period, Evergy says they'll move to the next stage of getting approval for the project.
We'll start permitting, we'll start easement acquisition, we'll start fully designing the line.
And for anyone who's worried about how this construction will affect them, Evergy wants to reassure them that their concerns are being heard and will affect the final design of the transmission line.
We're just trying to take their concerns into consideration and hope to have a final route that helps address some of those things.
In Winfield, Sophia Jernander, 12 News.